Clifton Moore here, and I will be recording my week 2 video. And I am using a mic as my mic and speaker does not work very well on my laptop, so I'm going to try to speak a little bit louder and clear to make sure you can hear me. So my proposal to kind of counter hurting by nudging is that if there was, some type of platform that, if investors were using, and before I purchased a stock, I had to wait like 3 to 5 days. And in those 3 to 5 days, they were giving me information the whole time about that stock to make a more informed decision. And at the end of that, 3 to 5 days, if I still wanted to make that purchase, I could. And if I didn't, I wouldn't. But that would be able to kind of take the emotion out of things, that impulse buy. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't always mean it's the right thing to do, because, that's how people can lose a lot of money in the bear market, and how people can lose a lot of money in the bull market if they're buying too high or if they're selling too low. So, me personally, I actually had a group of my friends that, whenever I was in community college, when we first got our first refund check, I remember two of them telling me they were going down to the bookstore to go buy laptops because they need a new laptop. And I was like, oh, me too. I need a new laptop, so why not? So I went to the bookstore and I bought one of the most expensive laptops. Nothing against the bookstore and the colleges or universities, but they're not always the cheapest. So if I would have took some time kind of to a buffer and thought about it, and I went in there and made it, like, put it in my cart mentally, and backed up, went online, shopped around, went to a few other stores, I would have made a more informed decision. I would have bought a better laptop with more gigabytes, higher speed, for about the same price or even cheaper. That's very important. One of my mentors mentioned that people should always think 3 times and act once. So whenever you're wanting something, you think about it again, and then you think about it again, and then you purchase or buy. That will help you make a more informed decision. Now, the lack of that information is how people make uninformed decisions. Um, and information is the key. Just like how the KKK was infiltrated, when their information was made public, uh, it was no longer a secret. And with realtors, when they are representing, a seller, they're more likely to sell sooner than if they're representing themselves and selling their own property. And it makes sense because they are not always, they don't always have the person they're representing's best interests in mind, because they're looking for that quick transaction. Opposed to if they're selling their own property, they're going to wait it out, and they know that they could probably get a better offer if they wait another week or two, or they can get a higher price if they hold out a little bit longer. But if they're representing the seller, they're like, oh yeah, that's a great deal. And with my background in real estate, I see that all happen all the time. um, so the best way to counter hurting is just by making more informed decisions and not making decisions based off emotion. Uh, and that goes with almost everything in life, not just stocks. Me personally, whenever I'm thinking about purchasing something, a lot of times on Amazon, what I'll do is I'll put that in my cart for about a week. And throughout that week, I'm adding similar items, similar price items to that cart. And I'm also using Herding to look at the reviews to see, all right, this many people have already bought this product, and they have, they've given it a lot of negative reviews. And this same amount of people, or close to the same amount of people, bought this similar product, and they've given it a lot more positive reviews. So I'm more likely to herd to the positive review purchase than to negative review purchase. But I'm making a more informed decision because I'm taking the time and I'm comparing the two. I'm not just going off the first, first one I see. And that's what herding does. When people think, oh, everybody's doing it, it must be a good idea. Not always. So that can be very beneficial for us to make the best decisions in life, not just purchasing stocks, doing anything. And I hold that, what my mentor said, key to my heart to this day. Whenever I'm thinking about something, or thinking about making a purchase, or thinking about doing anything, I think about it 3 times, and then I'll take action once. So think, think again, and then make action. So more likely I'm going to end up on the positive end of things than on the negative end of things, because I've thought out, I made sure, I've done my due diligence that, this is the right stock. They're doing a lot of good things. The company has a lot of good things going on. They've done, pretty decent, but they're going to do even better based off of the information that I've received. So information is really the key to making the best informed decisions.